Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to one more episode of Azure Zero to Hero series, and we have George again with us. Last time George explained about automated deployments, which was very cool feature. I have tried it. I hope you have tried it. And in this video, George is going to explain us about the auto scaling features on the AKS platform. And especially, George is going to talk about how can DevOps engineers save the cost optimization for AKS, which is going to be very interesting. George, over to you. Would you like to quickly introduce about yourself and explain what you are going to show us today?
Yeah, hello everyone. Thanks, Abhishek, for having me back here on the channel. And yeah, the first part was exciting about automated deployments. I hope people enjoy and follow. If you haven't watched the previous video, go there and watch about how you get started very quickly from the Azure portal to get your Docker file, pipelines, and deployments files created for you. And now we're going for the next step. Once I have my application running on AKS, running on Kubernetes on Azure, I want now, you know, think about costs. I don't want those applications to be running all the time. Let's
Yeah.
say we saw that we have a deployment in a service file where you scale multiple replicas. You can have like 20 replicas, let's say. But we don't need to leave those replicas running all the time. We have autoscalers, we have CADA to do scaling. And one thing that people don't know, Abhishek, is that we can scale a node pool on AKS to zero. You know that?
Amazing. Awesome.
Means that's almost serverless, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, then, yeah, if you missed the last one, I'm a cloud developer advocate for Microsoft on the AKS team. Means that if you have feedback for me, about what you're going to show here on the previous video, please let me know. And we're trying to improve the product like we did with automate deployments, and we trying to do with scaling. If you have your application and you have like a peak in demand, what's going to
Hmm.
happen if you have the outscaling set? You're going to create more nodes.
Hmm.
And once you don't need it, you're going to remove those nodes. That's the outscaling. I can share my screen again.
Yeah.
Let me do like a reminder what's this outscaling, how that works. And let's go Azure Portal. On my AKS cluster, if we check the configuration for my node pool,
Hmm.
I create two node pools. Okay.
Yeah.
The first one, node pool one, is a node pool that's called, I think we even explained on your series there, on your training about the system node pool and the user node pool.
Yeah.
The system node pool is where Kubernetes AKS runs all the components of a cluster itself. And user node pool is where your application is running.
Got it.
That's good because you don't have that problem of noise neighbor,
Yeah.
where something that's not your application is compromise the performance of your application. And I love
Control
that.
plane and data plane, right? You can run
Well,
the Kubernetes control plane components on system
yeah,
and the data plane, which is your applications on the user. Yeah.
yeah. And even more, like if you want to have multiple user nodes, you could separate the data plane to not have that problem of noise neighbors as well.
Got it.
Let's say the front end could be separate from the back end, the
Hmm.
API, just because the API is used by multiple, clients. And then you want that separation, or maybe you run a database inside AKS and you want a separate node pool to
Got it.
not, compromise the performance of the front end. Then that's it. Then my front end, my user node pool is just a ARM pool because I want to deploy a ARM application here. I'm
Okay.
64. Why? Because I'm cheaper. There we talk about cost reduction.
Okay.
And there are two things you can save money on Azure. You can save money with ARM 64.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're cheaper.
that's cheaper. I agree. Any cloud.
Yeah.
And another one, you can deploy a spot instance as well. I'm going to show
Yeah.
with ARM 64, but keep in
Yeah.
mind that those node pools you can create with spot instance.
Hmm.
So I did show in the previous video my cluster creation. When I create my cluster, there is one setting here that's very, very important. I set, for development even more, that how long takes for the autoscaler to scale down my cluster. Because
Got it.
imagine now we are, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, everybody's buying online, and then your application scale up to 5 instances, 5 nodes.
Hmm.
But suddenly everyone is leaving the office, nobody's is buying anything, and your application now is not in high demand anymore. You want to scale down. And you don't want to wait 10, 20 minutes for that because it costs some money there. And you could
Got it.
change those settings to 3 minutes like I did.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
how that works?
Hmm.
I create this node pool, then you can see that scale to 0. There's nothing, I'm not paying anything. The only thing I'm paying now is because when I create this node pool, I said to not delete the nodes. I said deallocate.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So there are two
My other
important
pool,
configurations, right?
yes.
One
I did.
configuration is
Mm,
when you created the cluster, you said
yes.
cluster autoscaler profile, but you said
Yeah,
when there are no applications running on the nodes, within 3 minutes, you can scale down the node. And then you said in the node poll profile that, you know, scale down node, but just deallocate, not delete the node, right?
exactly. Deallocate and also scale to 0 here. Look, minimum 0.
Got it. Got it.
Different from the system node pool that I left one node running because I need it. I
Hmm.
cannot scale the system node pool to 0,
Yes.
but I can scale the user node pool. That's the difference. Okay, system node pool you can't because you need those at least one node system
Yeah.
node pool to be running. Then, but I left like 3 because if they need more space, they can scale up.
Got it.
But the user node pool where your application be running, you can scale to 0.
Hmm.
Let's say you have a ARM64 background application that only runs once you have a message inside like a queue. Okay, a message queue
Yeah.
means that if there is no message on the queue, I don't want to pay anything. I want to scale down. Okay.
Yeah. Very good.
If you don't want to pay 0, you have to put delete here, not deallocate. Okay, delete.
Makes sense.
But if you don't want to wait, like say 2 minutes for the node to be created again once you scale down,
Hmm.
you can also use this deallocate. If you're watching this, not many people know that. You know the secret.
Yeah, yeah. I understand the use case very well, right? Let's
Yeah,
say there is some sale going on the e-commerce sites, or there is some series running like Game of Thrones, where you want to scale your nodes very fast because you never know when the new users are going to come. So instead of scaling them to 0 or just deleting the nodes, what you can say is you can deallocate, and then when there is a new user or when there is a new process that is running, the nodes are automatically scaled and very fast, right?
correct. And you can see the nodes here. Look, they're not deleted. They're there, but they
Nice.
just stop it. Then I'm paying something for that, but not
Hmm.
paying full price. I'm paying just for the storage, but not paying for the VM, CPU, and memory because it's deallocated.
Great.
Yeah. And those are the 3 nodes. Then what happened is what I need.
Hmm.
Once I deploy something,
Hmm.
then because I create ARM64, I also create what I call like a tent for this node.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think you explain that. That means that I'm telling Kubernetes to say only schedule pods on those nodes if
Hmm.
they are ARM64.
Got it.
Okay. Then once you deploy, you create like a toleration. Then you say my deployment, there's a toleration only to be on ARM64. Why we do that? Because we don't want your application to be deployed on the system node pool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want your application to be running here. We want your application to be running on this node pool. Okay, but
Yeah.
that's scaled to 0 at the moment. Then let's get one deployment here. I think that's where I have here the deployment. Um, This one, yeah, it is ARM64, and I have a
Hmm.
service as well. Okay. The only thing I have to put, like, let's say 10 copies, 10 instances.
Yeah.
We tried before and we stuck here. It wasn't working before, Abhishek. Yeah, when you try, because
Yeah.
I left zero and it wasn't scaling. I said, what's going on? But yeah, don't forget to change the number of instances. And
Cool.
then on AKS, you can go on workloads.
Hmm.
Like, I don't even need the command line. I can go from the portal. I can apply a YAML file from here.
Nice.
It's very good for for learning and things. Then will be the namespace, the deployment with 10 copies, 10 instance replicas using this image that's on my Azure Container Registry.
Hmm.
I have connected my Azure Container Registry with my Azure Kubernetes
AKS.
service.
Hmm.
Means that you don't need to care about a secret to access the container registry, because that connection is using managed identity from AKS to Azure Container Registry. That's nice.
Got it. Got it.
Got it? And then you get the service exposing like a public IP just for us to have access.
Hmm.
Then let's run that. Looks like our green. What's going on? There's no nodes there. They have to create a node. Let's go node pool.
Yeah. There were nodes, but they are deallocated. Yeah.
They're
Not ready.
deallocated. Yes, correctly. Then we have to wait for one node to be ready here.
Makes sense.
There you go. First node.
Awesome.
How many seconds? That was live. That wasn't recorded. That was
Nice.
live. Let's go here. Yeah, the pod's already running. Took
So 44 seconds.
44
Very nice.
seconds, to run. Probably less, because that's
Yeah. Yeah.
probably less. Sometimes take 30 seconds, 30, 40 seconds to run. And the node wasn't even running.
So to all the subscribers, I just want to explain this one more time. What we have done is really cool because one is we have used the cluster autoscaler, which might be very common. A lot of people might be using cluster autoscaler. But the main thing here is that we did not shut down the node. We did not bring the nodes actually to zero. We have the nodes, but they are in the deallocated status. And what's good about is that you got the node ready and you got your pod ready within like what 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, that's very nice. Like, if you wanna, let me go crazy here. Like if I get my deployment,
Okay.
you can even edit here. You can go for, let's say, replicas. Where's
Hmm.
my replicas? Replicas. I don't know. Let's try 200. Okay,
Okay.
I save.
Yeah. You should also show
Uh,
us replica zero, and you should show us the node is going
yes,
deallocated.
I'm going to show that's now creating C11. But look at this. I'm probably one node is not going to be enough to run all the 200.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then those node pools are going to start, um, getting ready, and you can see how is the scaling status here. When there is a scaling activity, they're going to do from this one. It could be
Got it.
scaling up or scaling down hours here,
Hmm.
and then there you go. All three are ready in seconds, and
Nice.
then you have, yeah, 33 running already.
George, let
And
me share an interesting story with you here. I was talking to one of the AWS customers. I'll not take the name, but for them, auto scaling does not work because when a new user comes in or when they have the new processes running, they cannot wait for the time autoscaler takes to create the new node. And on each node that is created, they also have some cloud init scripts, which again take more time, right?
mm,
Whereas with the solution that you have shown, you have the nodes which are deallocated, so you're paying little amount for that. not zero, but you're paying very little amount, and your nodes are ready.
Yeah, yeah, and see, I was able to run 33 instances in 3 nodes, okay, because just like it's a small node,
Hmm.
but you can see the power of that when you do that. If you even if you go node pool, it's very powerful. It's something that spot instance and ARM nodes is getting to zero. You could
Yeah,
save a lot of money. You could, but let's go a little bit further. Let's say I have 3 instances. Let's put like 10.
okay,
Okay, the 10. I'm not asking to deallocate now. I'm going to keep those 10 instances
yeah,
because I put 200. Then I was able to run 33 with 3 instances. Now I set the maximum to 10.
got it.
There you go. Yeah, it's probably going to, you're going to see a scaling activity happening very soon there. You're going to see
Yeah,
more nodes being created because my deployment is still looking for capacity. You understand? My deployment is still looking for more space to deploy.
great.
And let's go on the deployment. Let's say 33. I still need like more than 170 instances to run. Then that's update
Yeah,
on the cluster. It's probably going to take a little bit, further,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because
But
it
you get
has
the
to
idea.
take the
Yeah.
new configuration. Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense.
But what happened is when if I go on my deployment and I scale down to zero again,
Hmm.
they're going to stop all those VMs, going to stop all those VMs there,
Let's
but they're
see
not
that.
going to delete. They're going to keep
Yeah,
there because you want to come back very fast. Depending on your use case, you can set
hmm.
delete or deallocate.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Like probably if you're not worried about the time autoscaler takes to bring up your node, right? You can go with delete. But if you're worried about the time that your node
Yeah.
takes to come up, then go with
There you go. Node
deallocate.
4 is coming. Look,
Great.
node 4, all the nodes now, node 10, no, 10 nodes already. On this time that you're talking here, we have 10 nodes running, and
Yeah,
then you're going to have probably
yeah.
your
If
ports coming.
if any of you are trying this, don't forget to delete your AKS cluster.
Yeah, I'll delete right at the end of this demo. I'm going to delete. I don't know, but yeah, but that's the power of scaling, up and down,
Got it.
and that's it. You have all the four. Take hours sometimes just to for the scheduler to notice the nodes.
Hmm.
But that works very nice. And I just want to show that that we don't want to spend too much time, but let's show those nodes scaling down. I think that's what we want
Yeah,
more.
I think
Uh,
that's more interesting.
yeah, yeah. Let's go to zero again.
Yeah.
Save.
Now we are also testing Azure autoscaler, cluster autoscaler, because we
Yes.
are giving it too many instructions. One you said scale it to 200, now you said scale it to zero. Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to be confused. Oh, now I want to scale down, and there goes zero.
Oh wow.
Then I don't need the nodes anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need the nodes. What's going to happen?
Scaling up still. Okay.
Was it was finished the scaling up?
Yeah.
Remember that I said the configuration. Remember the configuration? I said after creating, after scaling down, delay, after adding a new
Three
node.
minutes.
That's
Ah, okay.
it's going to take 3 minutes.
Got it. Got it.
Okay,
Can
but
I
if
can I
I
also change it?
hadn't changed that, it would take 10 minutes because that's the
Okay.
default. I
Okay.
can,
Okay.
yeah. Let's look on the configuration in the meantime that we wait for the cluster to be scaled down. Okay, because it's going to
Hmm.
take 3 minutes. But in the meantime, we can look here. Those are the cluster outscaler configuration that we can have. Let's put a little bit. What's going to happen? Yeah. You
Okay.
can have
So,
the one that I changed was this one,
hmm
where you how long after scale up that scales down evaluation resumes. In our case, with 3 minutes, very soon. And also, if you don't need the node anymore, that's our case. Okay, we don't need the node anymore. We also change to 3 minutes.
okay,
That's one that's going to be applied. 3 minutes after you don't need anymore. Once we scale down to zero, let's say we scaling based on like a message queue. We process all the message on the queue. We don't need that anymore. Kda is going to scale our deployment to zero.
hmm,
And then after 3 minutes, that's the configuration that we set. They're going to scale down the nodes again. Let's say, I
got
don't
it.
know if it was 3 minutes already, but maybe not.
I don't think we are
Yeah.
three
But
minutes.
then
Yeah,
but then that's how it happened. Those are the main two. There are more configurations you can do here.
got it.
Have a look and see what is important for you. And um, yeah, like even if it's a managed cluster, there are a lot of configurations that can be done, in your cluster.
Hmm,
And that's the main difference, like between Azure Kubernetes Service and something like Azure Container Apps. Azure Container Apps is not full Kubernetes, you know. It's just built on top of Kubernetes, but it's a
hmm,
serverless platform.
got
If
it.
you're really looking for a Kubernetes solution on Azure, that's Azure Kubernetes Service. Okay,
Makes
Azure
sense.
Container Apps is more like a serverless platform that's container based, and it was
Is
built
it?
on top of Kubernetes.
Can I consider it as a more serverless way? Is it serverless?
Um, the Azure Container Apps is more serverless, like a
Yeah,
serverless platform
got it.
based on containers. Was built on top of Kubernetes, but you don't have full control. You don't even see the Kubernetes control plane. You don't have kubectl, for example, to Azure Container Apps. Azure Kubernetes Service,
Yeah.
that's the platform that you need if you want to do full Kubernetes. And most of the enterprise companies, they need that because they need to have
Makes
control
sense.
to security, networking, and you can see that probably in your job as well. But that's all scaling down is happening.
Oh, we see that. It
And you
says
see the
scaling.
target nodes, 7.
Yeah.
There is one thing here. The depends how long it takes because when your deployment scale to zero, some applications there is like depends of the configuration, take a while for those applications to shut down, the
Yeah.
grace period or something. Have to be careful to that. Sometimes if it takes too long, it's because maybe your deployment configuration is blocking that to be scaled down, and you
Hmm.
think that's not all. But you can see here that I have 3 nodes already stopped,
Yeah.
and that's now will be very quick, I think, to come down.
So you're talking about the graceful shutdown time. Some applications
Yes,
might have 1 minute, 2 minutes graceful shutdown time. Yeah, makes sense.
yes. Then yeah, some people put this grateful period like too big, and then they
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
why they paying too much with scaling up and down, and that could be the reason.
got it.
But that's it. Takes some time, for them because that's
We
not
understood.
even Azure. That's Kubernetes itself.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
not
But
problem with Azure. It's more the way that Kubernetes managed the nodes itself.
yeah, but we can see here, right? Three of the
Yeah.
nodes are already in not ready state, and eventually we will achieve that. We will get all of the nodes to the not ready status. The minimum number of what do you say that minimum node
Yeah.
instances that you have in your auto scaling configuration.
Yeah, I think there is a configuration here that say I like that configuration here that say if your node is being used like 50% of the CPU or less, then they scale down.
Ah, yeah, this is
Yeah,
also good.
yeah. And what happened is some ARM nodes that if you put as too small ARM nodes, sometimes they're using too much CPU,
Hmm,
even if there is not too many things running there. You understand?
makes
Then they
sense.
never scale down. Like they could be holding because of that. And make sure that you say, okay, even if it's maybe, the threshold is 70%, you still be allowed to scale down, then you
Okay.
can change that. If for some reason your nodes take too long, try to change this configuration here.
Makes
Even
sense.
if it's
So,
7% utilization, you can scale down because, um, sometimes it's like small nodes or something.
hmm,
You have to play. There you go. All now is gone. Oh, probably. Yep, that is it. I don't know. Took 5 minutes the whole thing since we start talking. There you go.
yeah.
It's all gone now. They all scale down, and you don't pay anything. And that works very well, Abhishek, for, let's say, some companies, they process things overnight. Yeah, like they process
Yeah.
documents, reports, and you can just create a node pool that will be scaled by, like files or message queues or whatever. And they're
Hmm,
going to process all these things, and they're going to stop, and you just pay for the storage, not pay for the VM.
amazing. Can you show us the autoscaling configuration one more time? Ho- like the AZ commands that you have used for the
Yeah,
cluster
let's show that.
creation.
Let's show that. Um, there are two configurations. Let's do
Yeah.
like a summary there. When you create the cluster, you have to do this one. That's a profile for the whole cluster. Okay, that's not per node pool. It's for the whole cluster.
Hmm,
Then you can use all those configurations that we show here. Okay, you can put this on documentation as well.
yeah.
And another one is when you create a separate node pool, like a user node pool, you have a configuration to decide if you want to delete or deallocate the node.
Got it.
What's the advantage of deallocate? Is that you don't have to delete and create the node all the time.
Hmm,
And that means that like in 30 or 40 seconds, like we saw, the node was up and the application was running. Then even a web application object, if you can wait 30 seconds for your node scaling up, you can even scale
hmm.
your front end web application to zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're happy to
Makes
the
sense.
customer wait to 40 seconds, but normally you don't. What I
Yeah.
recommend is if you need at least one instance, you can put like 1 year, not zero.
Hmm,
Okay.
yeah.
But and then when they scale to three, they and scale down, they keep those other two instances deallocated. If you want, fast response, like if
Got it.
suddenly 1,000 customers come to your website at the same time, that way 30 seconds you're going to have like as many nodes as you want, and you'll be
Hmm,
responding very fast for those nodes thing. And like in 3 or 5 minutes, if they are all gone, you can scale down and you don't pay for that. Then that's it. In one configuration, you create the cluster. Another one when once you create the node pool.
got it. And why do we see, if you quickly go back to the AKS console, right? Can you click on the ARM pool?
Pool, you can see that target 0 and red node 0.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
and
I just have one
127.
question.
That's the the instance size using Azure Linux, by the way. And then
Yeah.
you can go nodes,
Yeah.
and then the nodes are not running at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's
Can you
it. You
scroll
can
down?
have 110 pods. I can scale down.
Got it. Got it. Makes
You
sense.
pay
Yeah.
for this thing. You're going to pay for this storage,
Storage. Hmm.
but you could even change the size of the storage if you don't want it that big. You can put a smaller storage if you want. Um,
Looks great.
and that's using Azure Linux, the Mariner. That's we call Azure Linux now, and that's the ARM64. That's a very lightweight. That helps a lot with the performance, to boot up because a very lightweight distro, and that's the way that you're doing. But that's Azure AKS works with Mariner and also with Ubuntu. But
Great.
that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, George. So In this session, we learned about cluster autoscaler. We learned about the deallocation of nodes so that you can optimize your AKS cloud cost and quickly scale up only when it is required. Not delete your nodes, but deallocate your nodes. Thanks again, George, for demonstrating this.
Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, everyone. Congrats on your channel. And again, if you want to follow the AKS team, there is a channel called AKS Community where we publish things with the product team, and also the Azure Task channel where we publish things on Azure, including a lot of things on Windows subsystem for Linux. Abhishek, that maybe we can talk this another day,
Yeah,
and all the content there. Follow us, and congrats again for the great work, and hopefully we record again soon. And you are invited to record on those two channels as well.
amazing. My pleasure. Any day.
Thank you, everyone. See you next
Thank you,
time.